Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Bryan Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report from the 2014 Shawnee County Fair in Topeka, Kansas. I'm Bryan Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag feature, we discuss the state of Kansas Ag with Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. Inside Kansas Ag has a report from Farm Bureau, and Kansas Soybean updates us on standardized food labeling. And in news you need to know, we have our weekly updates from the Kansas Livestock Association. We'll look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. Ag Secretary Tom Vilsack has declared August 3rd through the 9th National Farmers Market Week. Throughout the week, the USDA will celebrate the nation's thousands of farmers markets, along with the farmers and communities that make them possible. Farmers markets across the country offer communities healthy, affordable, and convenient products sold directly from local producers to consumers. Pressure is growing on the USDA to step up its implementation of the 2014 Farm Bill. At a recent congressional hearing, Minnesota Representative Colin Peterson criticized the USDA for not doing enough to educate dairy farmers about the new margin protection plan. Other lawmakers have also expressed concerns over the Farm Bill's crop insurance and conservation compliance provision. The USDA countered by saying it's made significant progress on Farm Bill implementation. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is reminding producers that changes mandated through the 2014 Farm Bill require them to have a highly erodible land conservation and wetland conservation certification form AD 1026 on file in order to be eligible for premium support on their federal crop insurance. Since many FSA and NRCS programs already have this requirement in place, most producers should be in compliance. For those who have not filed, forms must be in by June 1st of 2015. And in local news, Kansas State University's Risk and Profit Conference, August 21st through the 22nd, will focus largely on reforms in densely populated China and how those results impact U.S. agriculture. Other conference highlights will include Livestock Market Outlook by Livestock Marketing Specialist Glenn Tonzer and a Grain Market Outlook by Grain Marketing Specialist Dan O'Brien, both with K-State Research and Extension. More information is available online at ksre.ksu.edu. Kansas winter wheat harvested is 95% complete, which is behind the 100% from both last year and the 5-year average. Corn condition is rated at 29% fair, 49% good, and 15% excellent. Soybean condition is rated at 57% good and 10% excellent. In a meeting last week, Pat Roberts expressed concerns to Gina McCarthy, administrator of the EPA, that the agency has unfairly targeted farmers, ranchers, in rural America with burdensome regulations and has dismissed concerns from Kansans regarding the proposed waters of the U.S. rule. Roberts took issue with the EPA's recent campaign of calling Kansans' concerns myths. Up next in our Ag feature, we discuss the state of Kansas Ag with Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. You're watching Kansas Ag Report from the 2014 Shawnee County Fair. Please stay tuned. If you'd like to advertise your business on Kansas Ag Report, give us a call at 785-554-5974.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue.
Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Wheat Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for wheat. Online at kswheat.com.
The Red Hot Summer Sales event is going on now at Dick Edwards in Manhattan, and you have never seen a selection of America's best lineup like this before. We've got year-end sales pricing right now in July on Ford, Lincoln, and Mazda. You won't want to miss 0% interest on select models, top dollar for your trade, and if we don't have what you're looking for, we'll get it. The Red Hot Summer Sales event is going on now at Dick Edwards in Manhattan, 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall on Highway 24.
American innovation is being driven in places you might not expect by people like Brent Hayek, an Oklahoma family farmer, who recently set a world land speed record in a Ford Super Duty pickup truck powered by renewable B20 biodiesel. Advanced performance is here, now, putting America on the fast track to more jobs and energy independence. Biodiesel, America's advanced biofuel.
At Ag Risk Solutions, we have been helping our clients make better crop insurance decisions since 1981. We always focus on helping you find the best coverage options for your farm, and it will give you peace of mind knowing you have a partner you can trust. To learn more about our agency, please visit our website, like us on Facebook, or follow us on Twitter. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution.
Ag Risk Solutions is an equal opportunity provider.
Your summer starts at Dick Edwards Auto Plaza. Hit the beach, hit the mountains, hit the trails in the all-new Jeep Wrangler. Jeeps are made for fun, and that's just what you'll have when you slip behind the wheel. Turn the key and start your adventure. Isn't it time you hit the open road? Drop the top. It's time for smiles from coast to coast in America's legendary pony car, the Ford Mustang. Experience the power, the excitement, and the thrills that only a Mustang can bring. Get out and enjoy summer the way it was meant to be. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza, I-70 and Highway 77 in Junction City.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
We're being joined by Kansas Governor Sam Brownback, and we're looking at the state of Kansas agriculture. Well, Governor, as we know, wheat harvest is just about wrapped up around the state, and probably varying reports, some good, maybe some not so good. But right now, spring or fall crops look pretty good. What are you hearing? What are you seeing as you travel around the state looking at agriculture in Kansas?
Well, we're finally getting some rain. We hadn't been getting any rain for a long period of time, and that has hurt us obviously a lot, but we're getting rain. Some areas around Dodge City got 10 inches in June. Of course, that was maybe not the time period they were actually hoping for it with what happened in the wheat harvest, but crops look great. The agricultural trajectory of this state looks excellent. The expansion of the dairy industry has really been a shot in the arm in a lot of areas, and now we're getting the processing plants associated with that industry. And then just the world's ability to pay for food has increased so substantially that we're getting more demands for the food products. We're the #1 state for prime farmland in the United States, total quantity of it. And it's kind of like it's a good time to be Kansas, as our stuff is moving forward. Our energy industry that's also in the rural areas, whether that's oil and gas or wind or ethanol, all of them really doing quite well. It's a good time to be Kansas.
You have a history, of course, in agriculture from years now. Did you ever think we'd see cattle prices where they are? This is great for the Kansas economy. Has to.
Oh, it is. It is, because cattle are 60% of the ag industry, and that I may be a little low even on that. Mm-hmm. It is a huge portion of it. It scares me sometimes, when you drive by some of these feed yards and you see the animals out there, and you're thinking, how much capital is walking around that yard because of the price of those, what beef is bringing now. But this is a big time for us. And in our future, Ken, what we're going to have to do is produce more agricultural products with less demand on the resource base. So it gets complicated, but you've got a lot of technology coming in, a lot of capital coming into the field, a lot of new thoughts and ideas. that I think really hold a bright future for it.
Talk about agriculture. I have to ask, our neighbors to the west, Colorado, have a new crop. Is that something you're interested in growing the Kansas economy?
I don't think so. They're having quite a few problems with that too. We're having quite a few problems with their new crop from what we're seeing in law enforcement activities in the state of Kansas. So that's not something I'm interested in.
Good. We're talking with the Governor Sam Brownback about the state of Kansas agriculture. You're watching the Kansas Ag Report.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
We are talking with Kansas Governor Sam Brownback. Well, Governor, as your career in being in Congress, being in the U.S. Senate, and now Governor, you have seen all sides of government regulations. Some good. Many in agriculture think those that are going on right now are quite unusual. Let's talk on a couple of them. One, the lesser prairie chicken, and it put Kansas right in the bullseye.
Lesser prairie chicken has just been a disaster. It's a wrong move by the federal government. It's not necessary. And we've got a problem with prairie chickens because we didn't get any rain. Mm-hmm. So this year we get some rain and our population's up 20%. And I'm going, now what changed so radically over last year that our prairie chicken population is up 20%? Did we have a whole bunch more land that was zoned out of agriculture, energy production? Was this or that? No, we got some rain. And that's what I've been telling the federal officials about. And on top of that, they've been cutting back CRP acreage, which if you want to develop habitat, that's one of the great things you can do is support CRP. So I really think they have taken on the wrong target at a bad time. And it scares a lot of other places because there's a lot of other places that have a prairie chicken or a grouse type of bird that's in a similar status to the lesser prairie chicken, that they could expand these zones over huge tracts across the western part of the United States.
So really the key is to continue to talk with those federal officials and tell them or use sound science so they can hopefully make a correct decision.
Well, you got to talk to them, but then we've also sued them. And we want to do a propagation program. We used to raise lesser prairie chickens as a state of Kansas in the 50s. Mm-hmm. We were down in one of our reports, we were down to 2 flocks after the Dust Bowl, one in Meade and one in Clark County of lesser prairie chickens. No habitat, no rain. When that comes back, the prairie chicken came back.
Another thing that has really kind of taken a life of its own, not only affecting agriculture, but anybody that's really around to use this water, is the EPA and their proposed new definition of waters of the United States. And that has a huge impact on states' rights and on business in general.
We have to fight this one to the hilt. If the EPA is able to basically define any body of water, including puddles and ponds, as waters of the Americas that they're entitled to regulate, they're going to be in everything. And I think this is really one we just have to go to the hilt. And if it's in lawsuits, pushing back, whatever the rate and way that we can do this, because this is a inherently state issue, water. And we fight about water amongst ourselves. We've litigated against Colorado 3 times on water, or litigated against Nebraska on water, because this is about the water rights of Kansans, and that goes broadly. And I think we have to be very aggressive, because if you ever let the federal government get a foothold in this, we will live to regret that day. And that's why we're pushing so strongly back on the federal government taking on this broader definition of what water is.
And there's so many other issues, I'm sure, with regulation. Talk about being governor. Is it as frustrating as it was when you were in the Senate trying to stop these?
No, because you can do a number of things as governor. And then having been in the federal system, I can see ways that you can push back, and that's what I do a lot of.
Very good. Governor, again, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ken.
Governor Sam Brownback has joined us. I'm Ken Rogers for AgView. You're watching the Kansas Ag Report.
Kansas 4th District Representative Mike Pompeo's legislation to establish a federal voluntary labeling standard for foods made with genetically modified organisms is welcome news for soybean farmers. The Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act would direct the Food and Drug Administration to provide guidance for companies that wish to label their products for the presence or absence of GMOs. It would require an FDA safety review of all new GMO traits before they are brought to market, and enable FDA to mandate labels on any product shown to pose a health, safety, or nutrition risk. Further, it would direct FDA to define the term natural for use on food labels. The bill would ease confusion among consumers by establishing FDA's labeling guidance as the national standard, preventing states from enacting a patchwork of conflicting requirements. Economic studies show the average family of 4 would pay about $500 more per year for groceries under the mandatory GMO labeling schemes some states are considering. American families deserve safe, abundant, and affordable food, and U.S. farmers rely on technology to deliver it sustainably. The Soybean Checkoff is working to provide all stakeholders with the facts about GMOs. It aims to advance the safety of such crops and protect the vital role they play in today's global food supply. You can learn more at kansassoybeans.org on the web.
In June, Kansas Farm Bureau and 7 other ag organizations came together to bring an urban family to Kansas farms. The Bring Mom to the Farm event was put on by Kansas Farm Food Connection, a coalition of 8 farm organizations that want to better connect with consumers about the food that they enjoy. The Wilson family from Johnson County was selected to get down and dirty on the farm. The Wilsons first visited and worked with the Tiffany family at their Tiffany Cattle Company Inc. farm in Harrington, where they got to see how cattle were cared for at the feedlot and had the opportunity to ride in the feed truck. They also visited with the Knopp family of Knopp Family Farms near Gypsum. The family got to learn about wheat harvest, spend time in a wheat field, and even got to ride in a combine. The Wilsons were really excited about their opportunity to learn about agriculture, and they asked lots of questions. The farmers enjoyed sharing their love of agriculture and their expertise. This was one of the first events for the coalition, and we look forward to finding other opportunities to connect consumers with the folks who grow the food we all enjoy. If you want to learn more about the Kansas Farm Food Connection, find us online at raisingkansas.com or on Facebook.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Your summer starts at Dick Edwards Auto Plaza. Hit the beach, hit the mountains, hit the trails in the all-new Jeep Wrangler. Jeeps are made for fun, and that's just what you'll have when you slip behind the wheel. Turn the key and start your adventure. Isn't it time you hit the open road? Drop the top. It's time for smiles from coast to coast in America's legendary pony car, the Ford Mustang. Experience the power, the excitement, and the thrills that only a Mustang can bring. Get out and enjoy summer the way it was meant to be. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza, I-70 and Highway 77 in Junction City.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
The Red Hot Summer Sales event is going on now at Dick Edwards in Manhattan, and you have never seen a selection of America's best lineup like this before. We've got year-end sales pricing right now in July on Ford, Lincoln, and Mazda. You won't want to miss 0% interest on select models, top dollar for your trade, and if we don't have what you're looking for, we'll get it. The Red Hot Summer Sales event is going on now at Dick Edwards in Manhattan, 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall on Highway 24.
This hog is head over hoof for meal made from U.S. soybeans. Now, one hog isn't that impressive, but suppose we add another, and another, and another. Before long, you've got billions of hungry customers around the world all clamoring for the same thing. Our soybeans. Learn more about the billion-dollar appetite of animal agriculture at BeyondTheElevator.com. Brought to you by America's soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Since 1983, the Hydrobed has been utilized on cattle operations throughout North America. The Hydrobed equips your 3/4 or 1-ton truck for hay handling and feeding. Variable speed cable controls or the optional wireless remote enable you to haul, transport, and unroll 2 round bales weighing up to 3,000 pounds each. A mechanical free float automatically compensates for uneven ground and out of round bales, isolating you and the truck from impact of bale unrolling. To find out how the Hydrobed can improve your feeding efficiency, call or visit us on the web at triple-c-inc.com.
A panel of 3 Southeast Kansas cattlemen will share their experiences with managing fescue pastures at the August 18th KLA K-State Ranch Management Field Day near Uniontown. John Gaither of Columbus and Gail George and Leif Wilson, both from Uniontown, utilize fescue as the predominant forage for their cow herd and stocker programs. These ranchers will share information about their efforts to optimize cattle performance with fescue, which often can be challenging. Southeast Kansas Area Extension agronomist Doug Shoup also will provide an update on research to minimize endophyte toxicity in fescue, use of improved fescue varieties, and how stockpiling fescue can lead to reduced winter feeding costs. The August 18th field day will be held at the Leif, Linda, and Eric Wilson Ranch near Uniontown. Prior to that, Merrill Ranch near Wilmore will host a KLA K-State Field Day August 13th. Topics on the program there will include the regulatory impact on farming and ranching of the recent listing of the lesser prairie chicken as a threatened species. Merrill Ranch managers also will discuss their efforts to develop water on the 17,000-acre Comanche County Ranch. The final field day in the 2014 series will take place August 20th at Pike Trail Cattle Company of Delphus. Each event will start at 4 o'clock and conclude with dinner. For more information on the field days, go to KLA.org.
Hello, I'm Chris Haverkamp. As we begin the month of August, we seem to be on the downhill slide in regards to corn production. This year there is a very real chance for U.S. farmers to raise a record corn crop on reduced year-on-year acreage as a result of near-ideal growing conditions. Some estimate that corn production may top 14 billion bushels, and even should we remain dry for the balance of the year, the corn bulls seem to be holding on to very little hope for a recovery at this point in time. Soybeans, on the other hand, are entering not only their most critical time of the reproductive phase, but also one of the most historically volatile times of the year. Although we find it difficult to become extremely bullish on any of the fall crops, it would seem logical that any rally attempt prior to harvest will likely originate in the soybeans. With relatively tight ending stocks and end users betting on fresh new crop supplies just around the corner, any problems over the next few weeks will likely result in volatile price moves. We would recommend soybean and corn producers alike to keep a close eye on weather and soybean related headlines to take advantage of any nearby price spikes on what looks to be a rather large stocks building year. If corn has achieved its harvest low already, and we assume a traditional ratio of corn to soybeans in value, this could mean soybeans have well over $1 yet to fall based upon current growing conditions. For questions or concerns about this or any other market, please feel free to give us a call here at Paragon at 888-452-8751.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today from the 2014 Shawnee County Fair here in Topeka, Kansas. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Bryan Hallman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.